Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Connie with Prairie Paper Crafts. Going to be sharing with you part 2 of this jumbled mess of a wreath that I have designed. Got a lot of pieces and it looks maybe overwhelming, but it really is not. So please don't be intimidated. I'm going to take some of these pieces off. Before I do, I want to quick share with you on my bear and Unlucky and just the bottom, because that's basically where it's going to attach to the wreath part. I have layered 3 thicknesses of foam tape. I got a lot of a dimension with my flowers and stuff, so I want to make sure there's plenty of dimension for those, but I'm going to lay those aside. I'm going to take all of my flowers and shamrocks and leaves and get those set aside, and then kind of show you in hopes of keeping this fairly short. I don't know about that, but we'll do what I can. Show you what I've got going on here. I start with the base of, this is medium weight chipboard. You could use a embroidery hoop. I'm at a loss for words this morning, so bear with me. But you could use an embroidery hoop. This is plenty thick for me. If you're not comfortable, you want to double layer it, by all means do. You know, you could cut a piece of wood if you're talented or have a saw. I don't have access to any of that anymore, and if I do, it just isn't worth it. So so I'm using. How I got this, in Design Space, I cut a circle. First of all, I designed it so I had an 8-inch circle, 8 inch wide, 8 inches high, and then I put a 6-inch circle in the middle, centered it, and then attached it so it would cut out basically out of white paper. I just used white cheap paper so I could get my template. Traced it onto my chipboard and cut it out with the heavy-duty scissors. And then what I did, just to finish it a little bit on the edges, just here, and then on the inside only, I just used some green ink. It's basically it. That's the base of my wreath so far. Then what I did, this is 3 pieces. This is just very thin paper, okay? It's like you get in the 180 packs from Hobby Lobby, or I think you can probably get it from Joann's or wherever, you know, doesn't matter, but so you get the idea. It's like text weight paper basically. I cut, this is the rosette, and I think it's the large one. I'm not sure which one I used because I resized it some. I cut 4 of these. They're like 11.75 or something like that wide, or length, excuse me, each. The width is what I looked at. It was like, try and figure this out here. Be easier with the ruler. I let Design Space figure it out from there. Yeah, I did 2 1/4 inches wide, and then Design Space did the rest, and it was like 11.73, or I don't know. It did fit on a 12-inch mat, but I cut 4 of those, and then it cuts the holes. I've done a tutorial on this before, and then I just ran quilting thread. Now, how I just, next piece, I'll show you in a minute here. I'm going to glue this on, but this next piece, I had to have this assembled first and all tied off, okay? So I could figure out approximately what size in between I needed my next circle. So that'll give you an idea. Again, I just took an image off of Design Space, a scallop circle. This one is cut 7.5 wide. The inner circle I used was 5 inches. How I determined that is I went from edge to edge, from this side inside edge here to this edge, and it is about roughly 5 and 5.1/8 inches, just in there somewhere. So this will actually cover it. You might see a little bit, but by the time you get all the stuff on, you won't. You could make that inner circle a little bit smaller. You could have made it like 4 1/4 or 4 3/4, excuse me, so you could just have it in a little bit. Completely up to you. So what we need to first do, find the glue, obviously. I do, again, don't use hot glue, so don't, you can use hot glue for this project. It might be quicker and easier. I just don't, and in case I end up giving it to my mother and she puts it out in her patio, it's not heated, it's all enclosed, but it's still, this time of year, is very chilly. So now I'm not gluing the whole thing yet because this glue does dry fairly rapidly, but I'm just centering this the best I can, and you want to make sure that you don't have any overhang here. So and just kind of get your, what do I say, pleats, I guess that's what they are, you know, somewhat even. Okay, so that's sticking pretty good. I'm just gonna do some more here. I was hoping this wouldn't intimidate anyone. It's really very simple. It's just basically just cutting things. It took me a little while last night to cut all my shamrocks and put my flowers together, but just and shape them and whatnot, but very simple. I love doing layouts, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I just like to do something a little different, and I've kind of got that desire to do layouts again. Excuse me, I have a very dry throat today. And I also am anxious to do cards. I also can't wait to get started. I have some ideas for Easter baskets and some Easter projects, so, or Easter paper pieces, so I will be busy. Hopefully I have time. Always seems like there's something else that comes up that has to be taken care of. Okay, I'm kind of careful. This will dry more. You know, it's fairly dry now. You can let it dry more if you wish, but I'm good with that. And put some glue on there, it's okay. Next thing I'm going to do, let's see if I can get this. Honestly, if it's not exact, it's going to get covered up. I can't stress that enough because you're going to have so much going on. But I just lay this on, and again, this also, I just put a bunch of glue on it, and this one, I'm going to glue the whole thing right at once, or attempt to. And I want to be a little bit generous with the glue. It's probably cold here this morning. It doesn't want to work like I do. And again, be careful that you don't press too hard, especially if you're using, you know, thinner paper. You can by all means use heavier paper. Not a problem. I just use what I have. I'm just really using my stash, so, and you'll see that in the flowers and stuff too. Now comes the interesting part, but before I show you how I'm going to just stick everything together, I just want to show you some of my flowers and some of my shamrocks. I have multiple colors and multiple sizes of shamrocks. I have different color, different size and colors of leaves, And I'm just taking a stylus and just bending those. These flowers are all from Design Space. The flowers, the shamrocks. The shamrocks are actually from the bear. I just resized them different sizes. The flowers are all from Design Space. They are all 3-layer. They start out flat. I'm looking. These two are the only one that are a little bit thicker paper. They're designer paper, so they're, excuse me, a little bit heavier. You can't tell it because the paper is sort of similar, but I cut 2 of each, and front and back I layered, so it's like there's 2 different colors in here, but because they're so similar you can't tell. All I did on these was I took my bone folder, if I can find it. I've got 2 in here, I can't grab hold of one. So I took my bone folder and then I just very carefully, because they're fragile, just start curling the leaves, okay? And then, and I have tutorials, or a tutorial a while back on how I shape flowers, and then I use this shamrock, for example. You know, I use it on a mouse pad or some foam, and I just start shaping. And then this spot, once you get it, you flip it over and you shape it here and it will curl it up. Same thing with my flowers. So I just wanted to share a little bit. These flowers, like these 3, I have one more in here, I don't know. Possibly, yeah, I do have one. These flowers here are all the real thin paper, and they've held up. They're still holding their shape. I didn't spritz them with water at all. And then my shamrocks I didn't spritz either, but they're a little bit heavier paper, and they go anywhere from, the largest one is about 2.5 tall to the smallest one being 1.5 approximately. So again, 3 sizes, I just randomly sized them. My leaves are all different sizes, again, also from Cricut Design Space. I just was using up any green paper I had that kind of blended in. That printed paper, I just wanted to add a little bit more color other than all green on here. And then I added some of the flower centers, you can see yellow instead of green, just give a little bit of color in spots. This paper is thick. I'm just get a couple of my, I couldn't find all my leaves last night by the time I quit to get them all shaped. You can do this with the mouse pad underneath too, you don't have to. They shape well. And if I come across any more, I'll find them. I have a couple paper curls. All I did with these are 1/8 inch strips. I just, again, broke down the long fiber, same way with my bone folder, and then I wrapped it around a small paintbrush and just start curling it so it stays. These leaves, this one and this one, are from a die that I have. I don't remember where I got them or anything. This might be an old Sizzix die. These, I used a paintbrush. I did not use a bone folder or anything, just because they're much more fragile. You can leave them flat. I don't. I just curl, or make everything 3D. So I'm gonna get all these kind of set aside and start assembling my wreath. And this will be the interesting part. Notice I have not put a hanger on yet. I will be doing that later. And you can see it's not straight. It's good. It's a wreath. It's going to get mostly covered up. It's fine. It's going to hang fine. I'm just going to kind of see where I want these first. And I'm going to hold it up a little bit so I can see better where I want things. I did come back on this little shamrock and put some sparkle, crystal sparkle in it from Spectrum Noir Sparkle, just to give you an idea. I'm putting these on with my beacon glue because if I need to move them or lift them up at all, I will be able to for a while yet. It'll become permanent, but for a little while I can still move things around. So, and I'm going to show you here if I can in a moment. Again, it's the only parts of this that are sticking to this green part are basically this part in here where the foam is. Same with him. I don't know if you can see that very well. I don't know how to show you very well, but it's basically just this. This is the main part that's on this wreath part. This foot, it doesn't, it's on the rosette, and there's really no way to glue that very well to make it so it would be even. So as long as this is on, that's good. That's enough. And I just want to kind of hold it up so I kind of see where I want my bear to be. Could have put a little bit more on his paw, but it'll get covered up by flowers and whatnot, so I'm all good with that. Now, I'm going to start putting my greenery on. Ugh, excuse me. Grab my glue here. And one of these, I know, I'm going to put glue on the back, out of frame a little bit, I'm sorry. And I'm just sticking it on it's gonna go, I don't know if you can see, it's going between the green and if it went underneath, on top of the green, underneath these pleats, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see the back, and if you're really concerned about the back, you could put a whole cover on so you wouldn't see, anything. It's really up to you what you want to do. Now I'm going to start kind of trying to figure out where I want my shamrocks layered. And my shamrocks, I really am just putting glue in the middle for now because of the dimension. And then I will come back, and if I need to, add more glue somewhere. I think there's going to be enough layers. It's going to hold stuff down. It's really, really not going to matter that much. And this is going to be a bit of a challenge to figure out how and where everything's going to get layered. It's completely preference. Don't get me wrong. It's I can't stress that enough. And to me, this is like those awesome florists who can put those beautiful bouquets together. I have always been in awe of that because I am not able to do that. Now, this one just kind of stuck out there, like, it's just like me on most days with my hair. So, what I'm going to do is come back, thank goodness for my tweezers. I'm going to put some glue on here, and I'm gluing it underneath this green piece here. And that way, why I think I am. Don't know if it's sticking like, yeah, I thought I was. I'll get it there. I just gotta maneuver my fingers around. That way it'll stick and not just be hanging out there in midair. Trying to get this to There. And it'll kind of calm down once you get flowers and stuff on there. Get that. Well, my shamrock decided to move too. Okay. Now I want some kind of a little green, dark green shamrock here. This kind of, I'm just not sure where I'm putting what where, so gonna have to be kind of patient with me. I'm hoping I have enough shamrocks and flowers and everything cut. If I have to put some more on, I'm okay with that. And I kind of want to hold this down a little bit just because, again, so much dimension. This shamrock is an example of, oops, I was trying to save paper, but again, because they all get, you know, covered up somewhere, I just went with it. I figured, you know, it's gonna get, like I said, covered up. I'm fine with that. Sorry if I'm not in camera. I'm kind of trying to stay there, but I'm going to turn this around a little bit. I'm going to put one of these stack over here. I had these flat last night. This one and this one back here. I just had them, you know, and when I got up this morning, I thought, no, they need to be curled. So that's how that came about. Okay, now let's see what we want to do here. I think we need another shamrock on here first. Yeah. We'll get a flower on. My shamrocks were meant to go on first, truly, and the flowers on top. So if you're wondering about that, I would say, I want to just comment that this idea came from Pinterest. And to give you an idea how my crazy mind works, what I saw on Pinterest was a wreath, and I think it had flowers down over here, some silk flowers arranged. The rest of it was just all random flat, you know, like flat shamrocks, different sizes and colors layered everywhere. This is what I ended up with. Go figure, right? Yeah, come up with some crazy things. Because his hat's quite dark, I want to try to kind of offset that a little bit. That is too big. And I don't want the same colors, so let me find, I got to go with this shamrock maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. And if the shamrocks go off a little bit into the rosette, like this one is a little bit, if you can get it to stick, it's all good. I don't know if it's going to stick. I might have to, nope, it's not. I'm going to put it up a little bit here. And I thought I had some curls going over here somewhere. These curls are all kind of wild everywhere, so it's like this one got a little bit wider, and that's what I kind of like, though. I don't like everything all the same. I just want it to look like it was meant to be kind of wild and crazy. Well, let's see if I can get this in there somewhere. These curls are a little harder to work with, I will admit. This curl, if I can get the end of it, yeah, I think I'm gonna just glue it down underneath that shamrock piece. I was gonna just let them go, but it's working out better for me anyway, just to have the both ends glued down. So again, whatever works for you. And let's see if we can. More wanted my bigger shamrocks down there, I think, so maybe not. Well, I'm just looking here what I'll have. Let's see. Might not need another one. I think I'm just going to fill it in with, had a couple flowers in there that I wanted, so I'm going to go with that. That and leaves, and I can put another shamrock in if I want. Yet. Add some leaves in here a little bit. But you guys are thinking, what in the world is this crazy woman done? But it'll all come together. I have one more flower to put up here that I wanted. The rhinestones in the middle are either have been gifted to me or from my stash. So again, I'm just, even the paper, all of the paper has been in my stash. I truly am just using up what I have. I'm not going and buying anything new. I just really want to try to use up what I have. So flowers not wanting to stick for me very well. Now here is where, if I end up with an extra little shamrock, I'm not sure, I would probably put in here somewhere. I'm going to leave that one out for a little bit though, because I'm not sure what I'll need here. So just need to get where I can see what I'm doing again. Okay. Now, these are easiest to put on first, just to give you an idea. So I'm going to stick that one on. Again, I'm just putting glue a little bit on the edge there. Can lift up his paw because it's not, that's part of the problem. The glue didn't want to stick on. I'll have to foam tape. For some reason, the art glitter glue and foam tape, sometimes it'll stick, sometimes it just depends. I don't know. So I'm going to leave these up because I may have some shamrocks and stuff sticking out underneath of them. So I'll leave that alone. I'm going to, in fact I am right now, I'm going to put a shamrock down under there, this bigger one. I really hope I've inspired you guys to do some home decor stuff. Again, it's not difficult at all, guys. Please don't think that. It's a lot of fun, in fact. Okay, I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to put this down on top of that. Kind of adds a little bit of a leaf effect to the flower also. So that's kind of nice. And trying to think, I'm going to leave this curlicue in the middle for right now because I'm not sure where I'm putting it. And then I want to get this flower, or that leaf flower. What am I talking about? Yeah, I want to get this leaf on there, or this flower stem, or leaf stem. I have flowers on the brain. Oh, geez. Wonder where that's coming from, right? Oh, and I should mention on these pieces and these, so the leaf part and the curly leaf thing here, I did also put sparkle on that. So just to give you a little bit of an idea. Oh, I got an extra spark or extra thing here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. I think we'll just pop it right here for now. And just a little bit of glue in the center. Again, I'm sorry if I'm getting off camera. Trying to be better at that. Okay, now let's see what we got going on here, other than a hot mess. I think this needs to, it's sticking up too much for me, so we're gonna just kind of fix that a little bit. Put a little bit of glue on the edge here. I could leave it, but it's just a little bit, almost too much. So we'll just, I'm just gluing it to a pleat here, or to a pleat on the rosette, just to kind of tame it down. And I think that one too, I'll just tack down a little bit here, a little bit of glue. If it'll stay there, you know. All right. So, and then this one, I don't want it just to be hanging so it's flopping. So I'm going to attach it to his hat and just put a little bit of glue here. Don't need too much. But that way it kind of keeps it from flopping around and getting maybe torn off or broken. Okay, now let's get going with the rest of our shamrocks, and trying to think how I want this one to go. Yeah, I want it to curl up underneath and around that vine right here. It can cover that flower a little bit, that's fine. And I believe I'm going to have enough extra shamrocks. I can put one up on top. And let's see. How I'm doing my flowers is kind of dark, light, dark, or I'm not putting, you know, two lights together if I can help it. So, and I don't want, these two flowers are similar, they're rounded petals. I don't want that, so I need to monitor and watch what I'm doing there. Because I have a spiked one or more of a pointed flower there, I'm gonna, and I want the rounded edges. You can still shape these flowers anyway, they'll just keep playing with them. Okay, I'm gonna put this dark shamrock up here before I forget. The one thing I'm not doing on this wreath that I would sometimes do, and it's because it's so busy as it is, I'm not putting a bow on it. You could tie a bow at the bottom. You could tie a bow anywhere in your flowers. I'm not going to, again, just because it's, excuse me, got enough going on. Trying to get these shamrocks, these last two here. And Got a few leaves to get in. Now, also I didn't put any white gel pen work on here, partly because there's quite a bit of white and the yellow, and you could on your shamrocks and stuff. I just chose not to. I'm good with what I got going on. Well, for some reason this one doesn't want to stick. Oh, I see. It's this shamrock part needs to be stuck down. It's stuck to that. That would make sense. And again, a flower will probably hold it in place, but leave it for now. And then get a little shamrock here, if I can get this one up a little bit. And I inked the edges of all of the colors except the white. Like those I did, but anything that's more of a white flower type, I didn't ink the edges, so you're kind of wondering what's up with that. That's what I did there. And I got one curly Q left. I want to put, I think, right in here somehow. These were kind of an afterthought, but I wanted spikes, and spikes weren't working for me. I didn't know how I was going to make those work, so I ended up going with these curly Qs. You could also use, by all means, you could use silk flowers. You don't have to use all paper. I was at the store on Friday after my appointment, and woohoo, I got to go to Walmart. That was a challenge. They didn't have their Valentine's Day stuff out yet, so I couldn't do anything there. I see what I want to do. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to attach this, because these were harder to curl. I don't know if it was the paper or what, but I had a bit of a struggle getting them to stay. So I'm just kind of sticking it up over here somewhere. Yeah, it's not going to stay glued for me, is it? See if I can do it from the back side. Aha. Glue it here. All else fails. And let's see. Yeah, I'm okay with those two loops. They're kind of large, but it's all good. Okay, now I've got, let's see. I'm trying to keep this somewhat on white because on the black it was difficult to see. But I've got these leaves. I want to put some leaves in here yet on my flowers. And if you've stayed this long and listened to me ramble and just figure out where I'm putting everything, I can't thank you enough. I would love to see what you guys are making. That paw to stay. You know, you can always, again, reach out to me on my Facebook group, on my fan page. You can post on the visitor section there what you're making, what you're working on. I love to see what you guys are doing. I've gotten some wonderful pictures from some fans and some great friends that I've made, and I get so much inspiration, so many ideas. I just can't thank you enough. Appreciate it. Okay, I got two leaves left. just need to put something, let's see, I don't have anything over here for, but I got a lot of greenery going on there, so I'm good there. I think I'm going to put something up here a little bit. And I'm trying to lighten up this darker color in here too. So it's kind of my thinking. I don't have to use all my leaves. I just cut them as I was going, so I hopefully had extra if I needed. My leaves were all cut at different sizes also, anywhere from like inch or lower, smaller. Just kind of varied. Okay, I'm just gonna hold this up a little bit. Just see once, like I can hear you guys saying, well, put it here, put it there. And I think I'm just gonna pop it in here and say I'm good. Glue everywhere, as usual. That is my finished paper wreath. As you can see, very simple to do. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to get how I'm going to tie it off. Bear with me a moment here. I'm going to stop the video and I will be right back so I can share with you what I do for hanging it. In one moment. I'll be right back. The hot mess I have for colors. For ribbon that I have picked out. So, have a gold color. I had a yellow out. It was like a lemon yellow. Colorblind at times. I have this and don't think it's going to be long enough, but I'm going to leave it because I do like it with the colors. I have this piece, and you wouldn't think of like an olive green for St. Patrick's Day, but I'm not all about Kelly green. I love olive green, so I'm thinking this would be a good choice. Yeah, and I've got all these colors, so whatever works. Got this with the gold on it, which I really like just to bring out, you know, because of the gold in there. I did bring out some black, just to maybe tone it down. And then I have a piece of seam binding, which may be what I'm going with because of the length. It's not really enough to use for anything else. And again, because I'm using up my stash, it's a possibility. I'm going to go with this thin black first. There's a little bit of black in his hat, and here I'm going to turn this over, and all I'm doing, kind of figuring out, this curly little vine thing is kind of my center point of where I want to hang it. So I'm just, well then, that just ran away from me, and see if I can grab a hold of it. I don't know. Just a second. I've had dropsy lately. Oh goodness, it's a wild piece today. Okay, let's just keep this over here for now. Again, working with this curly piece here. I'm just feeding it between the pleat and the rosette and this, and I'll use my tweezers to grab a hold. I don't know that I'm going to like this. I'm just testing this out. Oh goodness, I can't grab a hold of that today. Crazy. Now I'm kind of liking this black. It just kind of sets it off, the black and the white, plus the fact that it's rather thin, so it would work really well. I like these other green pieces. This is way too short, so I already know that. This piece may be long enough. I'm going to try to feed it through there and see what kind of a mess I can make. This one will need some help. Probably more than I can give it, but you know, we'll try. You know, it's okay. I don't know. I can't decide. I kind of like the black. The green works, but it kind of fades into it. The black shows off and just gives a little bit more color. I'm going to put the black back in. I wish someone was here and they could say, yep, use this color, use that color, right? Oh well. Leave a comment and I can always go back and change it. Do I want to use green? Do I want to use black? I'm not going to put, I'm just going to leave this for now. I'm not going to, normally I would tie it off in a knot up here, be done. I could use that to hang it and I could pull that around to the back, you know, so it wouldn't show. It's up to you. Put a bow up there, lots of things. I still think I like the black. I don't know, that's me. But anyway, I'm going to just leave that for now. Put that off there. That, though, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, is my finished wreath. Thank you all for watching. And one thing I failed to mention, that this would be a really adaptable project basically for any holiday, any season. Just change the paper piece. Where the lucky is, if you don't have a title, put a bow. Make a big paper bow, make a ribbon bow, add another paper piece. All good. So, okay, now I'm done. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.